Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the RFP Podcast, episode number, looking at a 286, because I forgot since it's been a long time since we put something out there, August, and this is Ultra Dad session number 93. And going about this a different way, I'm just testing this out on YouTube to see if we could get a little bit creative and have a little bit fun. So I'm live on YouTube. My intent is to record this and then post it up on the Spotify and everything else. We published a podcast out and iTunes and all that good stuff. But it has been since August. I just looked since I put out a podcast. And ironically enough, I had a conversation with Brian earlier today. And with the holidays coming up, and this is kind of interesting considering the topic of today's episode, podcast, whatever you want to call it, video, is maybe getting back together over the holiday period, because things could tend to slow down for us and we might get a little bit more openings to really connect. We've been speaking over the course of the last, obviously, several months and ever since we stopped doing Ultra Dad's podcast, but we just haven't had the time, and we haven't really made it a priority to sit down and record and do a team session and get everything put together. And we've just been being pulled in different directions. And like I said, we haven't made it a priority. But we're going to try our damnedest over the course of the next, month and a half to see what we could do, and possibly even going into January and February. But wanted to just get some things out there, get some things, share some messages. It's something I was thinking about earlier this week, last week. Since August, a lot has been going on. We moved Bella back into school at Iowa. Now she's coming back tomorrow for the Thanksgiving holiday. We got another race in, the Mogian Monster, back in beginning of September, 100-miler for our fifth one. That was great. Really, really awesome experience. Exactly what we wanted it to be in every way, shape, and form, and definitely got our money's worth. Elena is working to play soccer in college. She's got a spot available at a school back east. So we're in the throes of that, looking to make that final decision, probably coming here before the holidays, before the end of the year, I should say. So there's a lot of things going on professionally, personally, good things, a lot of progress. And that's kind of really what I wanted to talk about or share with you today. And, Robin and I were fortunate over the last few weeks to go on a number of different hikes, and I'll try to attach some pictures of some of those hikes. And I was just kind of going through those the other day, and it kind of made me think about the year end coming up. And there's a couple perspectives on it, and there's some folks that make a press for the end of the year, get from a business perspective, get as much business in as possible, close as many deals as possible. Get their processes or policies or procedures or workflows, just get a lot of shit done between now and the end of the year. And it's all a rush to get it in and get it done. And then there's a flip side to that, to take this time of year to slow down and take a step back, really, be a little bit more present, sharing time with family and friends and loved ones and, those closest to us. Taking some time to reflect on the last 12 months, who we've become, where we've gone, what we've experienced, what we've created, where we failed, where we made mistakes, where we fell down, how we responded to that. Are we still holding on to some of that, or have we moved forward? Have we moved forward and still really kind of holding on to some of that stuff? And I'm talking from experience here, because there's definitely mistakes I've made and failures that I've had throughout the year. And yeah, I've pushed through them, but I don't forget them, if that makes any sense. I don't believe I have. And maybe this is a good question, something to think about. I don't believe that I let it keep me back or hold me back in some of the failures that I've had, but maybe there is a little bit of substance that I'm holding on to that is maybe is preventing me from really truly being the person and hitting my potential this year. I don't know. It's something that I have to dig into. There's a dog barking outside, and he's a jerk dog. He always barks, but any event. Um, so those are some of the things that I've been reflecting on and thinking about, and going back to the hikes and some of the runs and some of the things we've been able to capture. And lately, just to let you guys know, the weather out here in the mornings in Arizona, it's just been awesome. Mid to low 60s. And sorry for all those folks that might be pissed off at me for saying that, but it's been really great to get out in the morning. Typically, Robin and I will walk the dog, and it's still dark. It's still even dark when we get back at between 5:30 and 6:30, and then I'll usually go out for my run. And this is right when the sun's coming up. And lately, it's been a little bit cloudy and overcast in the morning, just so the sunrises have been spectacular. And I've actually gotten out for my runs in the late afternoon as the sun was setting, and just some really, really beautiful pictures and just shots that we've been able to capture. And that those have made me think a lot. Well, actually, not a little bit, a lot about where we've gone over the course of the last year, and has me starting to think of these last few weeks of the year, some changes or some things that I'm practicing, and really a lot where my mind has been going is letting go, just letting go. Releasing myself from expectation and outcome. That's something I've struggled with over the years, over my life, not over the years, but over my life, is just, putting the work in, showing up, staying consistent, really pounding it and putting that effort in and grinding and grinding and grinding and working hard. And what I believe I've been failing at, what I believe that what I believe is an area where I need to improve on is, and it's cliche, right? But falling in love with that process and living in that moment, enjoying the journey. There's all these colloquialisms we could define it as, but I've still struggled with that result, that finish line, and what does it look like? Even know that I know, and I'm experienced with it. I've been through it so many times that once you cross that finish line, however that finish line is, that metaphor for the finish line, once you cross it, it's like, okay, now what's next? So that finish line continues to move. And I think that's good, because that means we're continuing to evolve, we're continuing to grow. What I believe I failed that I'm not very good at is crossing that finish line and sitting on it, reflecting on it, loving it, and embracing it, whatever that journey looked like, before thinking about that next finish line. And I think what's more important is, in the process, like once you say, okay, now here's the next finish line, where do we go with that? Who do we have to become in order to hit that finish line? What do we have to commit to and practice every day to become the person we need to become to do that thing or hit that finish line? And living in that moment. And there's moments of the last few years, the last years, where I've been living in the moment and I've been focused on the process. But I know I haven't been fully focused on that, because I've been thinking about that result. I have expectations on how things can go. And 100% of the time, it never goes as according to the expectations that I have in my mind, and we have in our mind, right? It just never does that. I'm not saying you never hit that finish line, but it never goes. The path isn't that straight line going up. It's all over the place, right? You finally get there, you look back on it. And that's another thing, looking back on the journey, and oh my God, that was pretty awesome what we got to experience. I mean, you think about my training block from, essentially from March, April through September when the race was, And over the last couple weeks or months now, looking back, the training block was really cool. I got to go to places that I hadn't been to before, run on trails that I hadn't run on before, and meet people that I haven't met ever before. And it's interesting because it was all part of me making the decision, us making the decision to do that race. And it had to do with knowing what I believed I had to commit to become the person I needed to become to complete that race. And that all led up to all that experience and all that experience we got, that life we had, that we were able to create. Because I had a pretty strong feeling in what I believed I needed to do to prepare for something like that, and it got me to do things that I haven't done before. So whenever you set that vision of, hey, I want to go do this, or I want to go be this, and it's not something I've ever done before, or seen before, or been before. In order for you to get there, you have to do things and be things that you've never done and been before. And that's what we've done. That's what we were able to do, and it created a lot of memories, a lot of growth, a lot of things I've learned. I've also learned, what we're made of, what we can be made of, and we've talked about it on here so many times where we sell ourselves short as far as our potential and who we really truly become and what we're truly made of. This past, what now, 6 months, I should say, that 6 months from March through September, even now I'm kind of reflecting back on it. I became somebody I never was before, and I did something I've never done before. But the thing is, the point of that is the point of that is I let go of that sometimes, a lot of times, where I kind of revert back to like the person that back in March when I made the commitment to do this. When, even though we've gone through so much, we've become so much, we've been challenged so much, we've failed so much, and we made mistakes so much, and we've grown and learned and progressed so much through that process. But I let that go sometimes. I forget it, you know? So my point is, in leading up through this and in talking about this episode is, what do you want to do in the remaining 6 weeks? I think that's about right. The remaining 6 weeks we have left of this year. How do you want to live it? What do you want to create? Who do you want to be? Do you want to rush through it? Or do we want to step back a little bit and be more present and reflect on who we've become and think about who we might want to be over the course of the next 12 months? It moves so it moves so fast. I mean, I have a picture, and it's me with a Santa Claus from Home Depot, and I think it was right after the race. So this is probably mid-September, and Home Depot had all their Christmas paraphernalia up, and it was a huge Santa Claus. Maybe I'll share it. Maybe I'll share it in the notes. But it's a huge Santa Claus, probably like 7 feet, and I'm just like next to it pouting, like way too early. And it just seems like it's getting earlier. I mean, there's Christmas songs or holiday songs that are on the radio now, when it used to be, the Friday after Thanksgiving is all that stuff would start. I mean, they had Christmas stuff in the grocery store out here before Halloween. There was still like holiday candy and Halloween candy at the same time. It was ridiculous, but it just moves too fast. And it seems, and maybe there's a lot of you out there that you relate to this, and maybe it has to do with, Elena in our senior year getting ready to graduate here in 6 months. We're going to be empty nesters, and it seems it's just like she started her freshman year in COVID. And let's just think about that. COVID was 3 years ago, going on almost 4 years ago now. That's crazy how fast, it just seems like how fast things have gone. And I think that's even more of a reason and driver to sit back and kind of slow things down a little bit and just soak it in a little bit better. I know I have to be better at that, and maybe some of you folks are out there with the same thoughts and mindset. But I wanted to share that. I want to put that out there. It's been a while since I recorded anything, and I kind of went all over the place here. Hopefully, some people pulled out some nuggets. But I wanted to try this too. Try this different. I've been playing with. I got some work stuff that I've been doing to create YouTube channels and um, create content and doing stuff on the professional side. So I was fiddling with my own personal YouTube site, and I figured, hey, let's do a podcast via YouTube live stream video, whatever the hell it is. I don't know. We'll see how I publish it, if I'm able to publish it, and see what it looks like. But I don't know. Maybe some people will say, hey, Mike, let's stick to the radio. Yeah, you got the face for radio. But in any event, hopefully you enjoyed some of this. It was good to hopefully reconnect with some of you out there. I think Brian and I are going to kick at least one off over the holidays. I don't know if we're going to be consistent with it following it, but I believe that we'll get one in together. I'm looking forward to that. We always have a good time, and I'm sure we'll be sharing a beverage or two during that recording if we're able to get it off. Outside of that, it's Friday afternoon out here. Hope you guys all out there have a really safe and happy weekend. Go enjoy yourselves. Again, live in that moment, live in the present. Next week, I know it's a wacky week with the holiday, but go out, have a great Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family, spend time with your friends and loved ones, enjoy that, connect, have conversations, enjoy each other, enjoy some turkey and festivities and food and pie. And, I'm sure we'll have beer flowing here too. So hopefully you guys will have some cocktails flowing as well, but have a great Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend. We love you guys. Appreciate all the continued support, and hopefully we'll keep this moving on. Take care, everybody. Thank you.